Putin has disappeared. Billions were spent searching for him, and all for nothing. Where is the president of Russia? What happened to him? You'll be shocked by the truth.
Hello, friends. Yeah, it's interesting. So they say Putin is actually hiding out in Valdai. Well, it's obvious. The whole world already knows about his underage mistress.
Information has surfaced about Putin's underage mistress. According to the agency, the politician's inner circle introduced him to a 17-year-old journalism student at Moscow State University, Alisa Karcheva, to influence the prime minister through her.
Yes, a 17-year-old mistress for Putin. How awful. So what's going to happen with Kabayeva then? Write in the comments what you think. And
with whom? With a young man, a very good young man, an excellent one whom I love very much.
Oh, Alinka, by the fall of 2025, your Putin will definitely have no time for mistresses. He'll have his hands full with Lavrov. They have their own marital games going on.
If I had a horse, that would be something. If the horse had me, I'd probably be dead.
In general, here's how things stand right now. Lavrov is practically crawling on his knees before Trump.
There's a joke. Our conscience is clear because we infrequently use it. But in this particular case, in all honesty, it's absolutely true.
It's Lavrov who's begging Trump to finally meet with Putin in Budapest. Otherwise, Sergei Viktorovich will end up in jail.
Moscow still hopes that Washington will change its mind and resume preparations for a meeting between Putin and Trump. The preferred location for the summit is Budapest. The minister does not see himself at fault for the breakdown of the talks.
Well, whether Lavrov sees it or not, who even cares? But after the meeting in Alaska, Trump is completely ignoring the fledgling. So the Kremlin maniac has realized that things are getting dangerous and, as I mentioned before, has gone into hiding. Cowardly little Putin, looking pale at Valdai. Putin is hiding out in Valdai with 14 air defense systems. The master of the Kremlin has at least 3 almost identical offices. They've set up the system in Novo-Ogaryovo, Valdai, and Sochi as part of the project. Oh, Putin's diagnosis is already clear, isn't it?
Coward, such a coward, and truly a coward.
Exactly. You know what? Let's do this. About Putin's 17-year-old mistress, Lavrov's delusions, and exactly where Putin is hiding in Valdai. We'll get to all that in just a minute, but for now let's talk about the event that actually made Putin crawl out of his little office, out of his bunker in Valdai. Here it is, this event.
Putin was publicly humiliated today.
Well, that's nothing new, really. The point is something else. The president of Kazakhstan, Tokayev, came to visit Putin.
And there were serious negotiations. Tokayev was met at the border by Russian Su-35 fighter jets, escorting him all the way to Moscow. Upon his arrival, there was a ceremonial orchestra playing the Kazakh anthem, and welcoming messages for Tokayev were prominently displayed on screens throughout Moscow. Your Excellency, sir.
Your Excellency, sir. Well, Putin was just fawning over Tokayev. It was over the top. Just take a look.
My Kazakh isn't very good yet. But I did catch one word.
Alton, well, that means gold. My God, Putin is just groveling. So what's the point of all this anyway? Why is the Kremlin maniac sucking up to Tokayev like this time? Right now?
It's just informal. Then I want to invite him to my place. And
here, it's all very simple. Let's remember who President Tokayev of Kazakhstan met with. Just a week ago. Do you remember now?
It was reported that Trump wants to seriously enter a market that's already tired of Moscow. And if both the US and China get seriously involved here, then there's no point in cooperating with the Kremlin's struggling economy. Let them get themselves out of their own crisis if they don't appreciate the importance of Central Asia.
Yes, that was a meeting with Trump at the White House. Basically, the point is that Tokayev has long been doing business, for example, with China, with Xi Jinping, and not with the loser Putin.
China is already pulling Kazakhstan into its orbit. While Moscow is bogged down in war, Beijing is building a new Silk Road bypassing Russia, turning Kazakhstan into a key transit zone.
Well, and now Tokayev has very quickly found common ground with Trump as well. Don't believe it? Well, just watch.
Mr. President, I highly appreciate your unwavering support for the development of multifaceted Kazakh-American cooperation. And
you know, behind all these ornate, beautiful diplomatic words, there are concrete agreements, results, and documents. Kazakhstan has opened access for the US to one of the world's largest tungsten deposits. The American company KFKF Capital Group will receive a 70% stake in a joint venture with Kazakhstan State Holding. The deal is valued at over $1 billion.
And now the puzzle finally fits together, doesn't it? Now it's clear why Putin is groveling before the leader of Kazakhstan.
of course, we are in constant contact with you, but still, Such protocol matters also have significance in intergovernmental relations. And today we'll have the opportunity to sit down in an informal setting and discuss all the issues that are of particular interest.
What a clown. But Tokayev's facial expression at that moment is priceless, as they say. It speaks 1,000 words. And at some point it seems like Tokayev gets tired of Putin's sycophancy, and he takes the initiative into his own hands.
I have some thoughts and observations that I would very much like to share with you. And
The leaders withdrew for a private meeting.
Yes, and it was during this private meeting that Putin got a punch to the gut from Tokayev. They won't say this on camera.
Kazakhstan gave the Kremlin an unpleasant surprise during the official visit of the country's president to Moscow. While Tokayev and Putin were exchanging strained smiles in the Kremlin, an important valve was shut off in Astana.
An important valve? Maybe you could elaborate a bit more? And
Starting November 20th, Kazakhstan is introducing a 6-month ban on fuel exports, including supplies to EAEU countries, which means to Russia as well.
yeah, this isn't some fairy tale about a declaration of strategic partnership. Just listen to this.
For Russia, which is dealing with explosions at oil refineries and sanctions against Lukoil and Rosneft, this move by Kazakhstan could be a serious blow.
So where is the main Kremlin maniac? Putin, where is he? They say he's hiding out in Valdai. Now here come the details.
For the past 10 years, we've constantly seen Putin in this very office. This bright and functional office, with an area of 120 square meters, is located on the second floor of a new executive building in Novogorevo.
Well, yes, Novogorevo. In general, officially, somewhere around the pandemic, Putin is working, so to speak, right there. I emphasize once again, he is officially there.
Journalists from the Sistema project have determined that since 2015, exact replicas of the dictator's Moscow region office have been created to conceal his actual location at any given moment.
Friends, can you imagine just how afraid Putin really is? He pretends to be in the Moscow suburbs, but in reality, out of sheer panic, he gives the order to build 3 identical offices to create an exact replica of the Novo-Ogaryovo residence. This is insane.
Each of them replicates the original interior down to the smallest details. This includes the color of the walls, the arrangement of the furniture, and decorative elements, so that viewers cannot tell one room from another.
But even here, Putin slipped up. He was exposed. A spy. An amateur one at that.
By drawing 2 lines, we can confidently say which room Putin is using. Here is Novo-Ogaryovo. And here is the replica office. And again, here's the original. And here is the copy.
Listen, here's what I'm thinking. I think that in the 3 different Putin offices, different but identical in appearance, there are actually 3 different Putin doubles sitting there. I mean, there's a certain logic to it.
More precisely, in this case, it's a triple. Chimonya, Govorun, and apparently a clone they pulled out of storage.
Well, why not? In one office, there's the carpenter double, the one called Masilyev.
Evgeny Vasilievich was in a big hurry to get to the inauguration, but as he walked down the corridor, he carefully examined the paintings he hadn't been allowed to look at before. In
another office, you could put the Shimonya double. That's the one who was acting all smart with Lukashenko on the bench. Why not?
Yes, well, let me first welcome Alexander Grigorievich once again. Thank you. To thank him for accepting the invitation and coming.
Well, really, Kamonya. Well, still, if Putin is not in Novogorevo, this is of course the Moscow region where the Ukrainian armed forces can be reached very easily. So where is he then? Where does he hang out most often?
In reality, a significant portion of the footage supposedly from Moscow was actually filmed in fake offices far from Moscow.
As of today, it is known that there are at least 3 absolutely identical offices in different parts of Russia. In the Novogorevo estate near Moscow, the Sochi residence Bocharov-Rushi, and in Valdai.
The Sochi office? Well, no, I think Putin is actually very rarely there as well.
Even though several air defense positions have been set up there, it's still quite close to Ukraine and within long-range reach of Ukrainian drone forces, which makes it possible to cause a whole lot of trouble there.
Friends, you remember how the Ukrainian armed forces operate in the south of Russia, right?
Oh, Mama, that's it. It's over. Sochi is on fire. A massive attack by Ukrainian drones hit Sochi, Adler, and Sirius.
So what do you think? Putin has definitely seen this footage too, 100%. Yes.
Since February 2023, Putin has almost stopped using his Sochi office after he began to fear Ukrainian drone strikes. The Bocharov-Rushi residence, once convenient and safe, turned out to be vulnerable, and the dictator started looking for more hidden and secure places to work.
So, well, what can I say, friends? All roads to Putin now lead to Valdai, right? That's the new target for Ukrainian drones and missiles. No problem.
It's farther to Valdai. He's better hidden there, and the topography is better. Well, it's in the forest, it's a residence in the woods.
No worries. Our armed forces, believe me, will get to Putin even in Valdai. And also, as investigative journalists say, Putin isn't the only one hiding at the Valdai residence. There's someone else there too.
Now Putin's addresses and meetings are recorded in two different offices, one in the Kremlin and the other at Lake Valdai in the Novgorod region. That's exactly where another office was set up. Journalists claim that the Valdai residence has become the main home for Putin's secret family, unofficially formed with gymnast Alina Kabayeva. There, the dictator could hold private meetings and record addresses, passing them off as footage from his residence near Moscow.